Thank you, Mark, for having me, and good to see my good friend Meshach here.
Yeah.
I think just to dive into the question, we must be able to assess it on the basis of context. You must understand the origin of the 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote was not yesterday. It is something that was an election issue just when the campaigns were being done. And the proponents or the people who were fronting it included the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta. I think it was one of the prominent issues in the proposed BBI.
Yes.
But now, in as much as it never sailed through, it still remained as an issue that was dear to especially people from Mount Kenya region. So here you have Rigathi Gachagua, who, let me not put like was elected, but appointed as deputy president. Because he literally was given that.
But by law he was elected.
If you go to the legalist language,
it is one ticket. He was elected.
But in actual sense, you cannot politically assert that it was the pure election. You know, like the way William Ruto was elected. Because William Ruto had his own votes. You cannot say that it's Rigathi who galvanized the entire mountain bloc to vote for Ruto. That's my analysis. So building on that, so Rigathi comes into a space where he realizes that he's not been able to take the votes that Uhuru Kenyatta had, you know? And now he's at a place where he wants to catapult himself into the national stage and become a significant principal in forming political discourses. So how do you do that? You revisit the issues that Uhuru was speaking to that were dear to the people from the mountain. One such issue is the 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. Bring it up. So that now you gain prominence on the basis of, I'm trying to actually catapult your agenda into the political discourse. So I'm your fighter, I'm your warrior.
Yes.
So that now the Kikuyus begin to look at him as their champion, as their jaba, as so to speak. But you see now, the challenge Rigathi has, if you assess how the mountain politics has been organized. One, remember, he was only a one-term member of parliament. You cannot competently say he's a seasoned politician. There are others who are more seasoned than he is, who already had occupied the national stage. The likes of Kina Moses Kuria, Kina Alice Wahome, they're done already their 2 terms. So they're already on the national stage. So what do? You have to devise a strategy that catapults you into that space so that people discuss you probably at par with the main principles. And for him, he's doing quite well. For him to get even the likes of former Prime Minister discussing him, that Rigathi Gachagua, even just the mention, it means that there are things he's getting right. But again, he's also working on a very thin line. Because unlike William Ruto during Kenyatta's presidency, William Ruto was an equal principal.
Yeah.
You would actually put it that way.
Yeah, he did come out as a
and even how he behaved when things looked tough is so different from how Rigathi is behaving. Because William, first of all, applied the principle of never outshine your master. So he always fought to be with, under the shadow of Uhuru, not trying to overshadow him. You remember even towards the general election, him being called Tanga Tanga and whatnot. And he embraced all that and said, there's no need of me trying to outstage my principle. So the risk that Rigathi maybe is exposing himself is, if at all Ruto now decides to unleash and fight him, I don't know how much he can survive. Because remember, first-term MP, you're yet to galvanize even Nyeri County, let alone the whole Mount Kenya. You're already having the likes of Ndindi Nyoro running away with Muranga. You have Kiambu speaking their own language. So for you to actually be at the same space that Uhuru Kenyatta occupied, I think it ought to have required some little patience for you to first of all build your brand as a national leader. Then come back to your people and say, I have been embraced. And I think if he was a good student, he would have read the journey of William Ruto from when he launched his bid. Even before he declared interest for presidency, you can see Ruto as an MP trying to project himself as a bigger figure than just Rift Valley, because you remember it was called Kamasuta or something, the Kalenjin, Maasais, and him positioning himself to command more than just the Kalenjin. So those are lessons that probably the operatives around Rigathi should actually be looking at. But if you go head-on with a sitting head of state, and I can tell you, my own prediction, I actually feel like it's not Ruto who's poking him. Yeah. It's actually operatives around the president who are the ones who are, you know, probably mishandling him a little bit, and then him is overreacting.
But you know, you raise quite pregnant issues because, number one, Kenya likes a rebel. Right, we like politicians who come out and shine, and that brings me to the question: this neck that happened yesterday, was